The most trusted name in automotive and proudly supporting Newfoundland and Labrador for 120 years. Choose Hickman for your next gasoline, diesel, or electric vehicle. Family drives everything. All right, good evening, everybody. It is 10:21 p.m. and I'm in the basement here of the house, and I'm not sure if Susan was asleep. Sounds like the wind is rocking pretty good upstairs. The house is creaking a little bit. I'm sure I'm not the only one experiencing that right now. We are seeing some very high winds, so I figured not a bad time to jump on and just talk about what's going on, when the wind speeds are going to peak, which is now-ish, and when they're going to begin to slow down, more importantly. So we can jump right into a couple things. What I want to talk about first actually is, I'll bring up the wind speeds here that we're seeing right now. And in St. John's, I just updated actually. Wind is sustained at 87 kilometers per hour currently, which is, that's nothing to sneeze at. And we talk about the wind gusts, and it's not often we see winds gusting. We see winds gusting over 100 in St. John's and the Northeast Coast pretty frequently, but when we're talking about 120, that's different. It's hurricane force gusts, and to put that into perspective, once we start getting winds above this speed, they start exerting a lot more force on things, and so once we're above 115, 120, we start to see potentially more power outages and utility interruptions and things like that. And as I bring up the web browser here, what you can see is these are the current outages reported from Newfoundland Power. And this site tracks a little more than 250,000 people. And division number 1, which I'm going to assume is the Avalon area, currently reporting close to 53,000 customers without power. Customers tracked. That's not without power. Outages, 11,266. I was like, that'd be crazy. 11,266 are currently without power. My apologies. Customers. And as we take a look at the map here from Newfoundland Power, we can see basically where you see the red exclamation point inside a triangle. That indicates, I think over 1,000 customers without power. That's what the legend says. It's greater than 1,000 customers without power. And so as we take a look at this, Flat Rock, down into Shoe Cove, which is basically looks like it's this area here. Some parts of Torra Bay, but it looks like a good bit of Flat Rock up towards Pooch Cove is without power right now. Out into Bauline, looks like we're without power right now. Small area, looks like around Foxtrap and Kelligrews. Without power now. I'm going to assume this is all due to severe weather conditions. Parts of the, looks like Cape Shore, without power, 730 customers without power now. Looks like the area as you get down toward Swift Current, Goobies. Some areas there without power, and then just northwest of Terranova National Park, Salvage, Eastport, Sandringham, Happy Adventure, Savage Cove, Sandy Cove, Traytown without power. Large part, it looks like, of the Bonavista Peninsula on the Bonavista Bay side, currently without power. And then lots of sporadic power outages. Grand Falls, Windsor, it looks like Bishops Falls, maybe not. Just east of Bishops, actually, Sandy Point. And then as you get up towards Lewisport, 1,200 customers without power. Campbellton, 300 customers without power. I mean, so there's a lot of power outages tonight, and that says something, because when we talk about power outages in Newfoundland, when we see winds like this in the Maritime provinces, we'd see way more customers without power. And so, yes, there's 11,000 customers out. It could be significantly worse. Our power infrastructure system is really built well to handle the strong winds. the good news is that hopefully that gets restored. Look at Sagona Island. Sagona Island's, sorry, I got distracted by that. Gusting 156 still. They were having gusts higher, almost as high as that earlier today. So some very strong winds down just south of the Conagra Peninsula. But look at Bonavista, Cape Bonavista 126. I'll bring this back up. I want to show you something real quickly here. This was put up on Twitter earlier by Kelly Butt. Kelly's a wonderful weather watcher. Private weather station at the Cape measured a gust to 162.5 kilometers per hour. I don't know about the direction, but that's wickedly high wind speed. And I think down in Cape Race, Cape Pine, saw some high wind speeds as well, and likely still are. Considering Cape Race and Argentia are likely seeing the high winds, and there's nothing being reported. I'm wondering if there's a power outage at the station might have gone down. Now we had this wind warning, yellow coded wind warning, and I reckon it probably should be. So we talk about the colors, right? So yellow is like moderate impacts. Orange is more severe impacts. It's probably, I don't make the warnings, but I would, this is probably, some areas probably should be under like an orange wind warning because we don't see winds gusting this high all the time. But either way, the wind warning was issued, which is good. And, the wind warning was saying winds were going to gust to 110, 120. Which we're seeing, and some areas are seeing wind gusts higher than that. And so the reason we're seeing this is basically we're watching an area of low pressure developing off to the northeast of Newfoundland, and that low is really driving some fairly intense wind speeds. I don't know if I can drag that back. I can't. Hang on, I'm gonna switch to a different thing. So I can stall, and I can actually set up some pause points in this because I wanted to draw your attention to a couple of things here, and then we'll come back to it. All right. So I'm just stalling here for a sec. Can't hide it now. I'm live. All right. So what we're looking at here now is so this is what we're watching: an area of low pressure developing to our northeast, and on the backside of this low, we are seeing this core of high wind speeds sitting down in this area here, and currently kind of rotating this way. And as that low begins to kind of exit off to the northeast, it will take that core of high winds with it. So we are in kind of the thick of this now, and it looks like once we get into 1 or 2 in the morning, we should see the wind speeds beginning to noticeably come down, but it's still going to be pretty windy through 4 or 5 in the morning. After that, it should get noticeably calmer as we go throughout our Saturday. So here we are, right? Future wind gusts, and obviously we're seeing gusts to 120 in St. John. So this is under forecasting a tad. As we go through the rest of the evening, notice by midnight, we're still gusting 107 up in Bonavista, but St. John's, the forecast is back down to 94. And then by 3 in the morning, we're back down to 83 for the gust, and we're going to continue to drop after midnight. But we're kind of in the thick of this stuff right now. And so that is the key thing to keep in mind, is that we're going to be in these high wind speeds for another hour, hour and a half or so before they start to get noticeably slower. Allison Howell said, "Wicked by Southlands golf course, lights are flickering." Yeah, I'm not surprised. My lights were flickering earlier too, and that's always a bit disconcerting when that happens. Joan Moss, power is gone in Eastport. Freda Chuck, so east wind. No, Freda, the wind is from the west, right? So the wind blows. We measure the wind direction from where it's going, where it's blowing from, not where it's going to. So a westerly wind blows to the east. So the wind's out of the west, blowing to the east. Paradise, I don't have Wi-Fi. This is Karen Nicole. That's interesting. You have a hard internet, like a hard line still? Power is gone here on Fogo Island and very high winds and stormy as well. Thanks for the report, Eileen Osmond. I've also heard the power is gone in Francois, I think. There's one, I think it's one of the communities on the south coast, and the power has been gone there for a couple of days, I think, due to severe weather. Either way, it's a bad situation when the power's gone. Obviously, when it's this cold too, that certainly presents some challenges. Snowfall-wise, we are still seeing snow for a good bit of portions of western Newfoundland and eastern areas, and as I set the radar into motion, and this is not rain, we're just looking at the snowfall intensity because everything is snow. We'll zoom in towards the Avalon. Looks like we had snow for a few hours. Looks like it's just about to wind down, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Newfoundland Power just tweeted. Let's see if I can pull this up actually on Twitter, because this literally just came across my desk here. Give me 1 second. I want this, and then we're gonna go always dangerous searching Twitter. You never know what's going to come up, or X. High winds and deteriorating conditions are causing multiple power outages across our service area this evening. Our crews are responding where it's safe to do so, but the severe weather is limiting our ability to carry out repairs. At this time, customers in the affected areas should prepare for the possibility that restoration may not be possible overnight. Please stay safe, stay clear of any downed lines, and watch our outage center for updates. And you can search that on Google if you don't know, but it's newfoundlandpower.com/outages. You can track all that stuff there. So something to keep in mind. Again, I'll read this one more time. High winds and deteriorating conditions are causing multiple power outages across our service area this evening. Our crews are responding where it is safe to do so, but the severe weather is limiting our ability to carry out repairs. At this time, customers in the affected areas should prepare for the possibility that restoration may not be possible overnight. Please stay safe, stay clear of any downed lines, and watch our outage center for updates. That is straight from Newfoundland Power this evening as we're watching the high winds. I just got this. Liquor is shaking on the shelves at the Grand Bank Foodland. That is some serious wind out there right now. Snow looks like it's easing for eastern areas, which is a good thing. Still seeing some fairly intense squalliness on the west coast. These squalls are like super organized too. I would say so. The mountains have probably done exceptionally well with the snow, but it's blizzard-like for sure. As my cat Milo's down here having a good time. I wanted to. What do I want to bring up? Because I can't bring up the webcams because we're not going to see a whole lot right now. I can bring up the conditions across the province and we can see what is happening weather-wise from the text perspective. So let's bring this up. There we go. Let's see. Bonavista, 108 gusting 126. Cart reporting light snow winds gusting 54. Deer Lake reporting light snow winds gusting 55. Gander, light snow, blowing snow, 81, wind chill -18. Viz is 5K, so not snowing super heavy. Mary's Harbor is reporting snow. St. Anthony's still reporting snow. Is lightening up. St. John's reporting snow. Winds 93, gusting 123. And Viz is 2 kilometers. Lots of snow and blowing snow. Wallbush down to -30. Cold in Labrador. So we're still seeing the snow for a lot of areas at the moment, but it is beginning to wind down. Now that being said, we're still looking at let's see if we can, I'm not even going to bother with this. Hang on. A little peek behind the curtain. Still looking at a blowing snow advisory, or excuse me, a new blowing snow advisory was issued for, well, this was just in effect for Gander, and then it was expanded to include Clarenville, Terra Nova, Bonavista, Vista, Avalon North, and St. John's because of the snow blowing snow. I don't reckon we've picked up a whole lot, maybe a centimeter or two, but a lot of it's just blowing around. Looking at some blowing snow advisories for Cartwright, Brigolette, Hopedale. Snowfall warning still for Northern Peninsula East, Eagle River, Upper Lake Melville. I've heard the snowfall in Goose Bay has been significant. I haven't gone and looked as to how much has fallen, but I can actually do that real quick. See if I can add it up. Let's see if it's been measured. 5 centimeters, at 0Z, trying to add this up, folks, sorry, 0521, 0518, so 18 was 15 centimeters total, and then let's see if I can go back further to 12Z, 16, so Goose Bay has seen, I'm almost there. Making sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay, so we have, so you want to see how to add up snowfall totals while we're at it? This is the way to do it because it's not reported in any way that's easily accessible. So what you're looking at here are METARs, right? This is why it's so hard to sometimes add up snowfall totals. So if you're a weather geek, these are METARs, right? So this is a weather report from Goose Bay Airport in METAR language. So you got your location, your time and Z time, your wind direction and wind speed. This one here is your cloud cover and the ceiling. So overcast 1,500 feet, temperature -5, air temperature dew point -5, altimeter, density, altitude, and those are your wind speeds, 354 knots. So all sorts of mixed units, but this is what we're looking at here. So we want to do, so there's S01, which means it was snowing. So at 6Z we had, which was 2:30, 2 o'clock Atlantic time, 6 centimeters. Then we add that to 16, so we are at what, 22? And then we go to 18Z, we're at 32 centimeters. And then we go down to 0Z, we're at 32, 3, 4, 5, 6, 37 centimeters. So 37 centimeters thus far today in Happy Valley Goose Bay. That's how we add up snowfall totals. It's just as simple as that. All right, so back to the warnings, and we have the snow squall warning still in effect for the West Coast, Parsons Pond, Hawke's Bay to Port aux Basques, and Deer Lake, Humber Valley. Watching the snow, again, that should wind down here over the next few hours outside of the high terrain, and pretty well by tomorrow morning the snow is done with. Wind speeds, did I show you the wind speed forecast? I had it in there. Yes, I did. Okay, we went through that. I think. Maybe not. Yes, we did. Okay. Sorry. It's late. It's been a very long day. Forgetting what I'm up to here. So we're all the way over to here. And temperature-wise, it's going to be cold tomorrow morning. Now, these are not the wind chills. These are just the actual temperatures. And those go through, that's going to take us through midday. And the thing is, once we get through midday, the wind speeds are going to be like 30 gusting 60, not 90 gusting 120. So it's going to be cold tomorrow, but not as cold and windy as it is now. So that is certainly a good thing. We'll check back in with Twitter to see if there's anything new that we need to keep an eye to. St. John's, Kelly Butt reporting a gust to 123 as of 10:01. It's breezy. Anything neat to see? Lots of flights canceled. Probably not going anywhere tomorrow morning. Okay, there's not much left here. So we'll check back in with the power outages, see if there's any change in that. Okay, so we just got a change there. Now we're up to 13,270 customers without power, and that's as of 10:40 p.m. Newfoundland time. Still have power here in Grand Bank. Crazy winds down in Marystown. Our water treatment plant lost power. I don't want to boil water order. But Eddie, how wild... Here, I'll put this at the broadcast. How wild is this December already been? It's a sign of the winter we have coming. It certainly has been pretty wild so far with the wind and storms, especially this week. Like, we went from having like no weather in October to a little busier in November, and the first few days of December have been absolutely wild weather-wise. There is a chance, it looks like we catch a break Sunday, and there's a chance of some more snow and rain, it looks like on Monday, potentially. We'll keep a close eye on that. Are we experiencing a polar vortex, says Leonard Henneberry. Here's the thing, like the polar vortex is always around, right? I don't know if this is just like Arctic air. It's just Arctic air that's coming. Like if I bring up like a temperature map, so this is windy.com, by the way. So if I show you like the temperatures, right? The temperatures, we're seeing some super cold air right now. In fact, some of the coldest air is kind of being directed like right at the region. Luckily, it's short-lived. There's a lot more back up to the north. I mean, look at the readings in like Northwest Territories and Yukon and Nunavut. Like we're looking at, temperatures there like -30, -40. So it's way colder. That's where the Arctic air is, and we're gonna see this kind of. We're in the midst of like one of the colder Decembers we've seen in a while. Like the question is it going to stick around? And if I bring up, I can show you another map here. We're going to geek out here a little bit weather-wise. Thermodynamics, 850 temperatures. So we're looking at here is basically where the cold air is, and like so these purples are really cold. This stuff is really cold, and you'll notice as we go through, this evening, as we go into tomorrow evening, like the cold air is still here, but it's not nearly as cold. But then we're going to watch this next shot of cold work its way in, and this is going to form potentially another area of low pressure, which will drive likely some more snow potentially Monday into Tuesday. There's that low popping up there, and then we might get a little bit of a reprieve. But basically, anytime we see this kind of cold air around, it makes for a very interesting weather pattern. Whether we get the storms going to the east of us or over Newfoundland is a bit of a question mark. But like we're in a pattern where it'll get very cold, it'll stay cold, it might get warm, and it's going to get very cold again. And that's kind of what it looks like as we go through a big chunk of December. That's a good one. Ceiling just creaked there. Getting big storm on Monday night, says Finlay Sharon. I don't know. Let's have a look. Nothing to me looked overly impressive on Monday. Okay, I'm looking for this. No, my goodness, I'm making everybody sick here. I'm looking at weather stuff. So here's this system Monday. So this is the RGEM. Okay, so it's showing. It's showing some more snow Monday, and so this is no slouch either. So this is Monday night, Monday's forecast, right? Remember we were just talking about where the cold air is? That's Monday's forecast, and that's another 978 millibar low. And look at I want to draw your attention to here. Look at this. So we can go back to tonight, right? It's 969, and look how tight. So we're looking at like this really tight pressure gradient again. Look at Monday night, it's kind of the same thing. I would imagine if I pull the wind speeds up here, there's going to be a core of very high winds sitting down over the Burin Peninsula Monday night, if that's right, and there is. So that is showing a core of 50 plus knots again over St. Pierre into Placentia Bay Monday night. Now, this might not be exactly where this low is Monday night. The European model, which is regarded as one of the better ones, has it forming a little east of Newfoundland. If that's the case, the precipitation is going to be more snowy, but depends on how quickly it develops and whatnot. With the AI model, there's nothing wrong. Listen, nothing wrong with AI. These AI models are pretty good stuff, but. So it looks like, yes, there's a potential for snow Monday night. I don't know what that looks like right now. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Power's gone in Paradise. Garnish Volunteer Fire Department is advising. Let's see, I'll get this in there. That there is, okay, this is good to put up. I'll just, I'll take me, and then I'll bring this back up. Where is it? Add to broadcast. Okay, it says the Garnish Volunteer Fire Department, I don't want to see that, is advising the public of down power line crossing the road near the wharf. For everyone's safety, please avoid the area until further notice. According to the department, Newfoundland Power has been notified and are currently en route. So that is a good thing to know. There's also the other thing I didn't mention this evening is there's also a coastal flood warning. I think for the Avalon. Let's see if I'll pull that up. What is this? Orange. So Bonavista has an orange wind warning. That must have just been issued like a few minutes ago. It's a good thing. Let's see. Coastal flooding. Newfoundland, Labrador, eastern shorelines, Placentia Bay. Probably all the same. I'll pull up the browser again. The statement is in effect for parts of the coast due to the following hazards: moderate storm surge, large waves, higher water, higher than normal water levels. West-facing shores, Burin and southwestern Avalon Peninsula's max wave heights 4 to 5 meters. Storm surge combined with wave action near high tide may raise water levels above the highest astronomical tide. Coastal erosion may occur in vulnerable locations. Avoid all shorelines. So something to keep in mind there. We'll check back in on the power situation. That has not changed, 13 to 70. And again, we're looking at this kind of core of high winds around this area of low pressure. It's a bit more accurate maybe. And so again, here we are at 11 o'clock. As we go into midnight, still pretty windy. We should notice it much lower though after midnight or so. That's where we are right now. Oh, sorry about that. Should take that out. Take that down. Lost power in Rocky Harbor, says in cowboy boots. Okay. Well, I think we've covered extensively what's going to be going on. So again, the wind speeds are peaking now. They will drop off here in a bit. I can actually show that to you on this website. This is one of my favorites, actually, spotwx.com. This is for St. John's, mind you. And so it shows our winds peaking. Shows our winds peaking at 8:30, so it's a little, let's see if the high res is a bit better. That's a bit more realistic maybe. Showed our winds peaking like now, and they should be again noticeably lower as we go through time. By tomorrow morning, we're only gusting close to 90, and then tomorrow night winds go almost flat. But like tomorrow afternoon, by like 1, 2 o'clock, like winds started gusting 60, that's normal stuff. And then wind chills down close to like minus 16, minus 17. So it's going to be cold tomorrow, not as cold as it was today, and not as windy as it was today. So that is, Rodney Barney just tweeted an interesting stat. I'll pull it up for you here on the tweeter. We just had the highest gust since Hurricane Larry. St. John's peak gust 123 through 10:30, highest measured speed since Hurricane Larry of 2021. Should be peaking about now, though could gust to the hundreds through 2 a.m., gradually diminishing overnight, which is what we just talked about. Rodney's meteorologist with the Environment Climate Change Canada Weather Office in Gander. A lot of all the meteorologists that work in that office are very, very smart individuals who do a very hard job, and I do not envy their position sometimes. But they're really, really smart folks out there, and Rodney is one of them. So Rodney, thank you very much for tweeting that out. It's always great to have those kind of stats. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for now for me. I'll post updates as needed. Tomorrow I'll definitely have one, but it's windy. It'll be windy for a little while, and then we're going to be calm for the weekend. I'll have an update for you in the morning, and then I will obviously keep tracking everything over the weekend. Be sure to get the app, my app in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. You can track like the live radar in there. It tells you the forecast wind speeds, all that good stuff. So something to keep in mind. And there's lots of good comments on Facebook. If you're looking for some info on my Facebook page. So have a good evening. One last thing I want to do before I go is, so sheer weather is new, relatively new, been, had it here since July. My goal with this has been to do stuff like this, to be able to cover the weather when it's necessary and when it's needed, like in situations like this where information can be hard to sort through and come by. And so that's a big why as to why I started this. But the reason I can provide this for this service to you, to the viewer right now, or to somebody looking at my content on Facebook, or looking at the content in the app, or my website, or YouTube, or wherever you're watching, is through my sponsors, Newfoundland Labrador sponsors and businesses and local businesses. I have many, and I'm grateful for each and every business and partner I've worked with. Because of you, I'm able to do what I do, and I don't have to pass a cost along to the public for that. And one of those key sponsors is the Hickman Automotive Group. They are my key sponsor, and I am very thankful to have them as a partner. And I got a pretty cool EV to scoot around in. I like it. When the power's out, it could be a bit challenging, but my power's still on. And I got lots of battery life, but either way, I want to thank them and every single one of my sponsors. But before I go, I'll run their little ad one more time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for watching it. Have a very good Friday evening. I'll have updates as needed over the weekend as well here in the app.
The most trusted name in automotive and proudly supporting Newfoundland and Labrador for 120 years. Choose Hickman for your next gasoline, diesel, or electric vehicle. Family drives everything.